All right. Thank you guys for joining us on the Real Producers Beyond the Pages podcast. We are here in the studio of Troy Trussell for Trussell Videography. He is the guy for all of the realtors and businesses to use for any of the branding. So he's not going to do the real estate videography, Seth, but he'll do all the branding for you and make you look like the true professional that you truly are. So I'm Sam Lucerini, and I've got our preferred partner, Blaine Rodman here of Cutco Closing Gifts, and his realtor of choice, Seth Burkhardt with Berkshire Hathaway. So thank you both for being here and joining us. And as the camera just missed, this is your guys' first time on a podcast, right?
Ever. Yep.
All right. Well, you should be very nervous because this is going to be hard. No, I'm kidding. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm glad that you guys joined us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Sam.
Yep, my pleasure. So on that note, Blaine, start us off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose Seth, because I know you've dealt with a lot of incredible realtors in town. But why was this guy the victim? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, what the heck? No.
Yeah. So my name is Blaine. I grew up in Wichita, went to Mays High School, graduated from Wichita State. And the reason I chose Seth was I didn't know very many realtors when I chose Seth. Mm-hmm. And I would have chose Seth anyway because he was fantastic throughout the whole process. But I didn't start doing the closing gift program till about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And I bought my house 6 years ago, and Seth was my man.
Already. Wow. 6. Wow. I was going to
That's pretty cool. I like that. So how did you find Seth?
My dad actually used to work with Seth at Cessna.
Mm-hmm.
At Cessna, and then he left, became a real estate agent. My dad was like, "Hey, I know a great guy."
Love that. Isn't that cool? Those good relationships.
Family referral.
It's weird how that works out at a certain point.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So then, how long ago did you get started with the Cutco Closing Gifts, and why did you choose that?
I want to say I started doing it part-time in 2019, the closing gift part. And then I started with Cutco back in 2013, but you have to hit so many, different levels of achievement before they allow you into the closing gift program.
Okay.
So here I am.
That's good to know. And I'm very familiar with Cutco. I've got several of my own knives and things that were handed down to me from my father. And my scissors are my favorite. I tell everybody that my scissors are hidden. I know that my teenage son won't be watching this, but I hide them in my bathroom drawer because I don't want him to do anything stupid with them, because 16-year-old boys do stupid things with really good scissors.
Like cut pennies.
He would be cutting pennies every time friends came over. So they are hidden, and they're only brought out for very special occasions. So very familiar.
Smart move.
Okay, so Seth, tell us a little bit about your story. When did you get into real estate, and why the heck did you choose this crazy industry?
Well, excuse me. Good question. As far as that one, like I said, I used to work with his dad in Cessna, and I got into real estate for myself at 19.
Nice.
So I bought my first piece of property then, and I thought it was fun for me, and did a couple more after that. And then that was my plan B for, aircrafts, what is it my mom says all the time? It's the best part-time job you'll ever have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
you never know. Tomorrow's going to be different. It might not be there tomorrow.
Well, exactly.
But then it might be there again, the next week.
So I just thought it'd be fun to actually do it for other people as well. And it proved out to be pretty decent. So.
Okay. So when did you go full-time real estate?
It was directly in 2009.
Okay. All right. And then have you been with Berkshire since then?
Oh, fantastic.
I love that.
It's been a great time.
Yeah. Are you east or west?
West.
You're west. Okay. So you're out there with John Quincy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's the reason why I went over there.
Yeah. I mean, John, we just did a story on John a couple months ago. Your office has pulled in some tremendous numbers nationwide. Can you brag on that a little bit? I remember seeing something on social media, but I thought it was pretty tremendous in just the small amount that I saw.
It's a great environment. I mean, that's one of the biggest things with that whole area, and just why I kind of picked Berkshire, to move to. I was with another company for 10 years before that.
Okay.
And then, so as far as like moving over to Berkshire, and then as of 2021, I think it was number 6 in the company as a single out of like 300 something agents. So it was fantastic. It was nice to actually hit some numbers and actually see where you're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's the community over there is the fantastic part of it.
Yeah, the culture. Yeah, and it starts with the leadership, and I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did Lead Academy with John, so
okay.
When I heard he was the broker of it, I was like, all right.
Easy decision.
Yeah, John's a good guy.
Yep, for sure. All right. So Blaine, let's kind of switch gears here and talk a little bit about your industry and the success that you've experienced. Because you're just straight sales, right? I mean, you only eat what you kill, and you were out there hustling.
Oh yeah.
And so I think realtors can definitely, relate to that. But what does a typical day look like for you?
Typically, going out to different offices for speaking events. I also became the KAR education sponsor this year, so I've been speaking at a lot of
Which is huge. That's a celebratory thing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I made the connection with them last year at the conference, and then me and Jackie, the lady who runs it, just get along so well, and she's like, yeah, we'd love to have you. Half the office up there already has Cutco, so
yeah, I've
gone up, sharpened all their stuff, and yeah, they love it, and it's been a good partnership so far.
Very good.
But with the, I'm sorry, what was the original?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like what a typical day looks like. Like I know a day might look different if you're going up to Topeka, but here in Wichita, like you're kind of bouncing around different offices, just reminding them that you have these options for them, kind of making closing gifts really professional, really easy.
Yep, just hello, I exist.
Yes.
Good to see you.
That's right.
Next time you have a office meeting, have me in.
Yeah.
Doing that, making phone calls to different offices, setting up one-on-ones with real estate agents, so that way they can get an idea of what it would cost for them, because it is, very specific. Depends on how many closings they have, what type of budget that they have for their gifting.
Yeah.
So doing a lot of one-on-ones, and then also I still do service calls, so I'll go out to people's houses and sharpen knives for them. Broken ones, I mail them off for them, just to uphold the forever guarantee that Cutco has.
That's right. So let's get into that. I know that there is a very old knife floating around your family, but kind of expand on that for agents so that they know, when they do make that investment, why is it a good investment and why is it a good closing gift, and how long do these things last?
So my great-grandfather, he's 103 years old. He was in World War II. He'll be actually 104 like in a month.
That's awesome.
And I'll get to see him at Thanksgiving, which is cool. But he actually bought some Cutco from a door-to-door salesman in southeastern Kansas, in 1952. And he bought a whole set. My grandmother, obviously he doesn't really cook much anymore because people cook for him.
Right.
But he passed the set down to my grandmother, and she still uses them every single day. And she gave me one of the knives to show off to people. Yes. Just one of the small steak knives. But
yes. Yeah, and it's still to this day just as good as it was.
Oh yeah, we sent them in for a couple years ago. They refurbished all of them, sharpened them, polished them up, sent them back, and they're good as new.
So if we have something like my beloved scissors that I love to talk about, and I love the steak knives too, I really do. But if my scissors break or Drake does something really dumb with them, what do I do?
You either bring them to me or you can mail them into the factory up in Olean, New York, and then they replace them for you. They just mail you new ones.
That's amazing.
First of all, don't blame it on him all the time. No.
Yeah, of course it's Drake's fault.
I think I can get away with that for a few more years. No, that's funny. Okay, what is the craziest Cutco story or client story or knife story that you can recall? Because we love to hear the funny, crazy drama things, as long as it's not our own drama, right? But does anything like that come to mind for you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's hear it.
This was early on in my Cutco career. I had maybe been doing it for a year, 2 years. So it's either in 2014 or 2015. Okay. And I go out to these people's house to sharpen their knives. And they're like a couple in their 60s, This guy, as soon as I get done sharpening them, they're all laying on the counter. This guy comes up from the basement, and he doesn't say anything, but he walks over, grabs one of the knives, and then just cuts his forearm, and it starts bleeding. And then he just sets the knife down. And he goes, "Yep, they're sharp." And then he walks back downstairs.
And what did the other two people do?
It was, his parents, and they were like, we are so sorry. He's living with us because he's got some, mental issues, and so he's living with us. And I'm like, okay,
lock these up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys be safe.
Yeah, I'm out of here right now.
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
do you want some rope to check on that?
That
I mean, there's like
is-
saw through that.
That is nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the most.
That was the juicy story I was looking for. When
That's
I
the
asked that
most
kind of question,
interesting one.
that's what I'm looking for. Okay. All right. I like that. All right, Seth, we're going to switch gears here.
I can't top that.
No, you don't. Well, I'm sure you've got some crazy closing stories or client stories, but, I know you said that you really got into the like buying at a young age and that's, which is incredible, right? To be able to own property or to land at age 19. But at what point were you like, you know what, I actually really like this. This is a passion. This is something I love. I'm going to go all in or do this full time. When was that? Or what was the catalyst for that?
Catalyst was actually just, I'll just be 100% honest, is being laid off from Cessna.
Yeah.
And it was, it was always in the back of my head. It was like, I could do this. I've always liked sales since I was like 5 years old. So it was a good time just to go in and say, okay, if I can do this for myself, why not do it for others?
Right. Yeah, that's perfect.
And, I called up the broker at the time, which is the one that helped me buy a couple properties, and said, hey, I'm going to come work for you. And he said, absolutely not.
What?
Yeah.
That is very weird because usually brokers are recruiting like crazy all the time.
right.
Well, they had a certain level, and they said, okay, our people do at least this and go on from there. I said, well, give me a year. I said, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. And he says, well,
Good for you.
no. And then absolutely, within the first year, I did a certain number, and then just was on after that. So
Good. So you were persistent. You got your way. You were hired, and then you walked the walk. You talked the talk.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And that brought up another, you kind of answered another question, which is, how does like an apparent failure set you up for success, right? Like that layoff probably felt devastating at the time, but it was probably a gift. You would have never been able to experience all these other gifts and capabilities you have. You probably never would have left that comfy little nest.
Never would have walked away from it.
That's right. That's
You
right.
would have never been my agent.
Exactly.
That's right. You would never be sitting here on your first podcast.
I know, man.
Thank you,
That is
Cessna.
pretty crazy.
Thank you, aircraft industry.
100%.
Yeah.
And thank you, Blaine.
Yes, I know. I love that. Okay. So outside of work, Seth, what do you spend a majority of your time doing?
I love being outdoors.
Okay.
I know Blaine likes to do the exact same thing. I mean, he takes it to the more extreme, but
Okay.
I can just be out in the backyard. And actually, if I'm still working, if you pass by, I live on a major street, so people always walk, are driving by honking their horns or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the phone, I'm walking the dogs, I'm doing something outside. That's what I like to do.
Got it.
If I can be outside and it's decent or
Yes.
not so decent sometimes, that's fine.
Like today is great. It's very windy. So you guys, it's not affecting you as much with long, with shorter hair. But yeah, today is great. And I do wish that Wichita had a little bit longer period like this before it just automatically turns into, winter. And I'm always afraid when it's this windy that something really cold or bad is coming for us tomorrow. That's just usually how things work in Wichita. But okay, so you've been in the real estate industry a long time, Seth. Either what is one word or how would you describe our market today from your perspective?
Insane.
Yeah,
I mean, people that have been in it 30, 40 years have never seen anything like this.
that's right.
So it's just new, it's different, and something we'll get through.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best ways to look at it. But insane is one of the best words to put to it.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that, this is a time that things are crazy and people get, it's either fight or flight. That's just a natural response. And I think that those that are choosing to fight, they're pragmatic. They can see through the storm. They know that on the other side of this storm is going to be spring and everything is fine. Things are starting to stabilize and normalize.
Absolutely.
And you just have to ride the wave or, get through that storm and things will be okay.
Oh, absolutely. And it's very interesting to see. I mean, we pulled up old contracts from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We're back up in the same thing where we were. I mean, it's nothing like...
This is not new. This is not novice.
No,
It might
no.
be to people that are new to the industry, but we go through these cycles.
Oh,
It's
100%.
almost predictable.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of leveling out the playing field a little bit, and it's actually kind of nice to see. But on the other side of it, I mean, it's just something we're all going to work through. It's just nothing what we've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And people quickly forget.
Do you guys think that the market is now shifting towards being a buyer's market versus seller's market?
I don't think that we're anywhere close to that yet. No, I think right now we were so extreme. I think the only tool that the feds had was to lower interest rates, and they overdid it. And so, I do think it's probably fair to say that we will most likely never see rates down in the 2s again. I don't think we'll ever see a robust refi market like we saw. I don't, maybe in another half a century. But I think, what is I'm not in it every single day. I do talk to a lot of people, but what is your take on that?
But you do well. So you're doing it as well. But no, like I was telling a few people the other day, it's like I remember being in this business and you get inundated with all kinds of information, everything else right off the top. And I remember throwing away all, back when you carried paper, is that I threw away every bit of information that was like the interest rate calculators, everything that was like nothing went below 5% ever. And then so it was like you're starting to use these things and it was something totally different. And you threw away all this information because it didn't pertain to the market at the time, which is actually, it was like, I remember telling somebody at one point, it's like, it'll never go below 4%. And boy, was I wrong.
Right. Yeah, we got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just we're seeing a little bit more normalcy. And like you were saying, Seth, we've never had a pandemic, supply chain issues, a tumultuous political environment, inflation. We've never had all of it happen at once. Right. And that's what we're seeing. That's why people are freaking out. Yeah. And if they quit freaking out and they realize that, for the most part, things are going to be okay. You prepare for this. That's what savings are for. That's what staying, educated is for. You'll get through it and the strong will survive and others are going to have to pivot and they'll leave an industry and find something different. But I think for the most part, just like, I mentioned this on the last podcast, the economic outlook, the forecast for real estate that Dr. Stanley Longhofer just put out, things are looking really good for Wichita. We're very lucky.
Looks fantastic.
People have got to quit freaking out. They've got to quit watching national news. National news literally has zero to do with Wichita, Kansas real estate. It really does. I mean, real estate is very specific. It's not even regional. You can't even say real estate in Wichita is like real estate in Kansas City. It's not. We've got 2,400 realtors here. They have 20,000. They're just completely different markets and industries. So
that even goes down to the block or the area or whatever else it is. Different zip codes. Yeah. It's so specific. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Location.
Yeah. That's right.
Is inventory starting to get longer now? Because I know I was at an office meeting several months ago. They said there was like half a month of inventory.
I haven't looked at it, but I am starting to see things are sitting longer for days on market. And every time I open MLS, I am seeing there's a lot more new.
At one point, there was 2 days of inventory.
What?
2 days.
And it should usually be a couple of months worth in a normal market.
Normal market, you're looking at 5 months. And it's just insane how it was working out. Now we're about 30 days, 40 days. It's because everybody's kind of priced themselves out of the market a little bit. And it's interesting that you're seeing price reductions, that kind of thing at this point. Yeah. So it's which nice. Is unheard of.
Yeah, there's some negotiation power back.
Yeah, you didn't see price reductions a few months back.
You saw 5 or 6 figures over, which is insane and ludicrous. And I was getting on my soapbox being upset at everyone for that kind of greed and ridiculousness. Seth, you'd probably know this better. What, when it does shift to a buyer's market, what does that months of supply look like?
It's basically about 6 months or more.
Okay, that's when we become a little bit more of a buyer's market where buyers have a little bit more power.
Absolutely. And, at this point where it's 2 days, a month or whatever, it's still a seller's market.
Yeah, it is. But sellers with the right agents and the right, fiduciary obligations and the right insight and advice from agents, buyers or sellers are realizing that they need to be a little bit more realistic. Imagine that. So that is nice to see.
And everybody's buying power has changed a little bit too with the interest rates. So.
That's right. Yeah, they can't stretch. They can't be as aggressive or risky in their purchasing.
Absolutely.
Sure. Okay. What purchase, Seth, of $100 or less has impacted your life?
It's going to sound really cheesy.
I love these answers. They're always insightful.
When Blaine contacts me, he's like, hey, I'm selling Cutco. Here's the deal. Here's all this. And I'm like, okay, not another sales deal. Not another, because salespeople hate to be sold too.
Yes, I know. Believe me, every day I feel it. I'm right in the trenches with you, Blaine.
I'm 50-50. It goes either way. I meet certain people and I'm like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So my worst customer ever, which is my wife.
She's going to hear this.
And she knows this. And she goes, okay, so she's like, you're not going to buy one of those things, are you? That's
Negative
just
Nancy.
It's a state fair thing. It's, whatever else it is. It's, and here's the thing. It's a number one go-to in the knife block at this time. We bought multiple others. And it's like, at this point, and it's like, okay. And I normally didn't do closing gifts beforehand or any of that, and it makes it super easy. But so it was like, I think it was like an $85 knife or something. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a little bit pricey for one thing, mm-hmm. but I tell you what, if it's your one and only go-to and it's your thing, that's what your deal is, perfect. And it works every time. It's just trusty. It's the whole thing. Like I said, it sounds cheesy, but
it'll still be around in at least 70 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And you stay friends with this guy, he's going to come to your house anytime you want to sharpen that knife.
Yeah, I need to get him out there.
That's right. I know. I need to get you out there too. I know. Okay. Let's see. Blaine, let's switch over to you real quick. What's an unusual habit or an absurd thing that you love? And Seth, if you've got an answer for this, I'd love to hear it. These are always really funny.
I think people would find my love for climbing absurd.
That's right, the climbing gym.
Yeah. I go to the climbing gym a lot, climb outside.
So you probably have grip strength like a animal. Yeah. Okay.
I've climbed in like 7 or 8 different states now.
Okay.
Just going outdoors to different places, camping, climbing.
Okay, so that's what you were referring to, Seth, right? When you said he's a little bit more aggressive.
He's more extreme.
Yeah, extreme with the outdoorsman stuff. So real quick, and I don't know why this came, but since you have really good grip strength, does that equate to really good, like having like an arm wrestle?
I mean, a little bit. There's some.
Are you challenging him right now?
No, I'm not. No. I mean, I think we could find someone. That could be another episode.
Tune in live next time.
That's
for
right. That's right.
Arm wrestling.
Who's going to win?
To see it right here, but no, it's.
That's all right. If you start all the way down here. Seth, do you have any absurd habits?
I had a quick question about that one. So, like, you go into some of these houses and you see this like really awesome fireplace.
Like the stone. Yes,
exactly.
Yes, yeah.
And you like look at that and you're like, I could do that. I could reach all the way to the top.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you'd have to keep your fingernails really short, number one, right? I'm just getting into like the logistics here. Now I'm really thinking about it. And you're always climbing barehanded, right? Or do you use gloves?
Nope, bare hands.
Okay.
Put chalk on your hands so you don't get sweaty.
Okay, so then do you, are you always harnessed? Do you always have a tether?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have good life insurance and health insurance? Does your mother know what you're doing?
Mom listening to this, right?
I mean, she knows, most of it. But
she knows what
she'd rather hear about it after,
Of course, yeah. After you're safe.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to know.
That's awesome.
Seth, do you have any of those crazy things that you want to share?
I don't get too crazy. I mean, I like to just hang out, do awesome, and that's about it. Love to help people out. That's a fantastic part. And I don't get too crazy.
None of this crazy scaling fireplaces. Okay.
No, I'd love to see it though.
I would too, actually. All right, Blaine, what is the one thing that you want our Wichita real estate community to know about you or your business?
I mean, the one thing that I want everybody to know is I'm not necessarily trying to push anything on you or sell you anything. My main thing is just to divert funds that you already spend on consumable items into something that
lasts forever.
Your clients are going to have and make memories with their family forever using that piece, and the tax benefits.
That's right. Because the whole thing is write-offable because it's marketing.
Yep.
Because they can put their logo, their name on the blade of the knife or on a part of the, the instrument, the kitchen gadget that isn't actually cutting. And so they're going to be seeing that. It's that top of mind. The agents have to learn to stay top of mind to their clients. And instead of doing what most others are doing, which is, mailers or sometimes little cute drop-offs on the front porch or, emails, like that's time consuming and usually spinning your wheels. And you're right. It's more efficient and effective use of their time and money.
Yeah, really it just comes down to, they're trying to get touches with their clients. So whether you're, mailing a calendar or a magnet, you're trying to get touches.
Yeah.
And Cutco, because it lasts so long, is the lowest cost per touch marketing that you can possibly do.
So you got to be a nerd and break out some numbers for them, because when it makes sense to a realtor, and it's an efficient use of their time, then usually that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, if you break it down over 5 years, let alone 10, 15, 20 years,
right? That knife is going to be longer in that house than they might be in real estate.
Oh, and passed down and everything else. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, really, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I think as you get a little bit older, and this is one of the things that I've noticed too, is that you start to buy the nicer things. You can afford
Quality.
the nicer stuff, and you said that whatever you can use. But as far as that one too, it's the service, it's everything else that goes along with it. you start to trust other certain people. You start to do multiple transactions or whatever else it is with them. And that gives you an idea as well. So it kind of goes along with everything. As the faster you can get on that track, I think the better off you are.
Yeah.
So, you find somebody that does the right things for you, with you, and grows with you and does everything else you need to. And I think it's a fantastic way to go.
Yep. You become really loyal to that partnership, that business relationship. Another creative add-on that I haven't had you out to my house yet, but I believe in you and your products so much that I wanted to add this in, right? So as for an example, Seth, you've sent some closing gifts to someone. Well, here's a great touch point. Not only are they seeing that, once every time they're, once a week, once a day, whatever, maybe every Christmas or every Valentine's Day or every whatever holiday that you want to make to be special, you send them a text or an email or a card saying, hey, you want your knives sharpened for free? Call this dude, right? Not everyone's going to take advantage of it. You're not going to be going and sharpening, 50 clients' knives of Seth in 1 month, but it's just a gift that keeps on giving, truly, as cliche as that is. There's a lot of benefit to considering this for closing gifts.
It truly is. And the one that I give out is the goofy looking one. It is. I mean, let's just be honest with it.
The spatula.
Yeah, it is a spatula. But you use it though, don't you?
I do. I have all of those things. Yes,
and
I do.
It's like, what do I do with this? What the heck? But as soon as you use it the one time, exactly.
Yes. I don't cook a lot of things. I bake things. So that's one of my favorite. Yes.
That's a go-to.
Serving.
I either get, people use it all the time or they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, you just spread butter with it. I'm like, no.
I threw it in the drawer, man. It's in there.
Yeah, I have it. It's part of the collection. Okay. Here we go. We're going to flip over. So we are speaking to an audience that is pretty invested in their self-development and their education and their furtherment of their professionalism and their career. So with that, I'm a big Audible person. I can't say I read books because I don't physically do that. But have you guys come across any books, audio or real, that you think would be really helpful for others?
Yes.
Let's hear them.
2 off the top of my mind. One of them I just finished. It's called When. I think it's by Daniel Pink.
Okay.
But it talks about your internal clock and when is the best time to do certain things.
Okay, so WHEN, when.
When.
Got it.
And it talks about, what parts of the day you're most creative and what parts of the day you should be doing like admin work because you're not so creative. And it breaks it down into your actual normal rhythm of just every person.
I love this. I'm probably asking this question because I'm selfish, but I love to hear these things. Like I'll probably put that on my Audible list because that makes sense. Yeah.
And then the other one, I'm sure everybody's read it, but How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
Dale Carnegie.
Oldie but goodie.
Yep. That was a great one.
Yeah. I bet Cutco has a whole library of great books for you guys to read.
Oh yeah. A lot of Cutco people have actually written books. Giftology by John Rulin.
Yep.
The Mr. Thank You Project by John Israel.
Okay.
Really, really good stuff in there.
Yep. I've
read these.
I've read Giftology.
I've listened to Giftology, yep. And then, in fact, our real producer publisher, Reese Hale in Kansas City, gives Giftology to all of his business partners. So thanks for making me look bad, Reese. But very good book. Okay, Seth, what about you?
Oh, I'm going to be horrible on this. I have not finished a book in I don't know how long.
That's okay. Do you have any good podcasts? A good like tip or motto that you live by?
This is going to be old school, but talk to people.
Yeah, like actually have a connection.
Have a sit-down conversation.
Yeah, not just on this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Break free for a minute, talk to somebody, or you can call them and talk to them as well, but it's so much better than a text most of the time. Yeah. And it's just absolutely insane what you can get out of something like that rather than, a sit and listen to a book or whatever else it may be.
Yeah, no, it is. You're learning from people, you're connecting, you're increasing your sphere. It's probably filling your cup unless you're like an extreme introvert. So I would agree with that. Okay.
But no, I'm not good at reading books.
That's okay. You're good at closing contracts.
Yeah, stick to what you're good at, right?
That's right. That's what you should do because then you hire the who's to do the things that you're not strong at.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to end with a quick little speed round here and I'll let you guys get on with your day. Okay. So these questions are for both of you. Would you rather be covered in fur or scales?
Fur.
Fur, probably.
Fur? Okay,
sure. Scales? Nobody wants to be covered with scales.
Nobody wants to be associated with that.
Maybe if they're cold-blooded, I don't know. No one's ever answered scales yet. Maybe I need to change my question, make it more.
I don't know, yeah.
Okay, would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year of your life?
Neither.
That's not the answer, Seth. You can't play that way.
I probably a year. Maybe it wouldn't be a good year anyways.
Spend a year in jail?
No.
Oh, lose a year.
Lose a year in life. I mean, it's and I've got personal reasons for that today, but that's
Yeah, I think lose a year.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm gonna be 103, I could just be
That's
102.
Right. You've got great longevity. Yeah, you've got some great genes. Okay, all right. I would say if I had to spend a year in jail, I would be very educated and very fit. I would say that.
Yep.
But
just read
I would
and
agree
work
with
out.
you. I would agree with you. Yeah. And it would be old fashioned reading. I don't think they'll let us have our iPhone to listen to Audible. Would you rather spend the rest of your life with a sailboat as your home or with an RV as your home?
RV.
Okay.
I could drive somewhere and find a sailboat.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna go sailboat.
Okay, you'd rather be on the water and then go to docks and then get out and tootle around.
Yeah, I met somebody a few years ago that lives on a sailboat now, and I just get to like catch up with her occasionally, and it's incredible.
Good for her.
Yep, she just retired, and now she lives on a sailboat.
Living her best life.
Ever slept on a sailboat?
It does rock you to sleep if it's big enough. If it's small enough, you better have some good
Dramamine.
Some good yes, a lot of Dramamine. Would you rather, the last one, would you rather move to a new city or town every week or never be able to leave Wichita?
Oh, that's a move.
New place every week.
Yeah.
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 Definitely. I mean, how about yourself? I mean, what's your take on that one?
These are not questions for me. No, I'm kidding. Right now, I would probably say I would always stay in Wichita. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Wichita is cool.
It is. It's getting pretty darn good.
Oh, it's fantastic. But I mean, there's so many places to
I
visit
know.
too. And Wichita's like right in the middle of everything. So
Yes.
it makes it so easy to go travel and see everything anyways.
It is. It does make it easy, but you're always going to have a layover and it's going to be more expensive. But that's okay.
Hey,
That's all right. That's why we work hard. We can hustle. We can afford the plane.
that's why the cost of living's so cheap here.
Just gotta
That's
sell
right.
more knives, and then I can buy plane tickets.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Sell more scissors. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and just spending time with us here on Real Producers. So your participation, your support, it means the world. We couldn't do it without you guys. So I appreciate you. And that's it.
Thank you very much for
Awesome.
having me. I appreciate it. And thank you, Blaine, for the invitation. So,
Of course.
Thank you, Sam.
It was great. Good job on your first podcast, by the way. You nailed
Thank
it.
you.
A++.
Thank you. So
All right,
curious
guys.
about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.